All right, thank you. Great job, dogs in a pile. I knew I was following you guys. Appreciated you telling me you had one song left. It's nice to have a 45-minute warning. So my name is Andrew Rich. It's great to be here. Marc, Komitoville. Very festive. So many friends you have here. You know what would look a lot different? Andrew Richville. Very few people at Andrew Richville. It's like 2 people coming there. Like, hey, Todd, I got this great spot picked out for you in the backyard. Jason, you could have the whole front yard. You guys don't even need masks. I know you're saying, well, we're not even here for Marc. We're here for the bands.
Hell yeah.
I could have Pearl Jam playing. It wouldn't make a difference. Sorry, wait. I forgot what kind of music. I meant String Cheese Incident. String Cheese Incident. I had to Google that one, by the way. So let's talk about some current events. So several months ago, Governor Cuomo was placed on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, signaling to the world that he's a rock star for the way he handled the pandemic for the state of New York. I don't know about you, I don't really want a rock star running the country, running the state. You know, I'd rather have somebody that goes to bed at a reasonable hour, doesn't do cocaine in their office. Like, ladies and gentlemen, your new governor, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Like, why is that a thing? They do that in my office also. Like, hey, you're going to love the new assistant we hired for you. This guy's a rock star. Like, no, it's okay. I'd rather have somebody that shows up on time and doesn't trash my cubicle. Like, what rock star are you going to hire to be my assistant? Gene Simmons? Gene Simmons from Kiss? Gene Simmons wants to rock and roll all night. He doesn't want to check emails every day. Gene Simmons. I'm a commissioned salesperson. I don't want Ozzy Osbourne speaking to my clients. 25% off your purchase today. Shut the fuck up, Ozzy Osbourne. Stay the hell away from my clients. Freddie Mercury's a dynamite performer. Hands down, dynamite performer. Probably awful with PowerPoint. PowerPoint and Excel, not Freddie Mercury's strong suits. Are Fortune 500 companies hiring rock stars? I heard Meatloaf's over at Goldman Sachs now. Thank you. So speaking of rock stars, you guys remember the band Quiet Riot? Yeah. What was Quiet Riot's big song?
Come on, feel the noise.
Come on, feel the noise. Did you know that come and come on, feel the noise is spelled C-U-M? You can look that up, C-U-M. It's spelled C-U-M for absolutely no reason. It's the most juvenile decision in the history of music. There's no double entendre there. You know, there was like another 80s song, Come On Eileen. If you want to spell that one, C-U-M, all right. It's still juvenile, but you can come on Eileen. You can't come on Feel the Noise. There's no way to do it. So this is my first time in 5 months doing stand-up since before the pandemic. Pretty tight. Pretty tight. I feel like as people we've grown a little bit. You know, don't you feel a lot more educated than from before the pandemic? Like, think about the early days. Do you remember there were people that weren't drinking Corona beer because of the coronavirus? Like, how naive was that? Like, if they had named this thing the coffee virus, nobody would stop drinking coffee. Those same people are like, no, you can drink coffee, it's fine. There's nothing to do with each other. Just drink coffee. It's totally cool. Right. I'm stalling because I forgot my next one here. All right. Knew I would. One sec. Of course. Right, we didn't know what was going on. Right? Nobody knew what to do. Like, I remember there was one day the stock market had dropped like 2,000 points. I thought I was facing financial ruin. Nobody knew if they were going to get sick. And what did I do that night? I went out and performed stand-up comedy. And I just shared a vape pen with a guy that just sneezed. What are we doing? Like, early on in the pandemic, for long walks. I know I would take my dog out for a long walk. We'd venture off into a distant neighborhood, just walking around. And it occurred to me that if I ever had to go emergency number 2, there was nothing I could do about it. There was no stores, no restaurants you can go into. Even if your friend lived in that neighborhood, you couldn't like knock on his door like, hey, Jason, I know we're not supposed to be within 30 yards of each other, but you think I could use your bathroom for the next 45 minutes? You mind watching my pit bull? Thanks, man. I owe you one. Hey, can I get the Wi-Fi code by any chance? Thank you. We're also watching a lot of Netflix, right? Where everybody's watching Netflix. I watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary. I don't really understand pleading the fifth. Like that, he pled the fifth a lot. I didn't really get that. It was like, you know, Mr. Epstein, have you ever had sexual relations with a minor in the state of California? He's like, I plead the fifth. Mr. Epstein, have you ever had sexual relations with a minor in the state of Louisiana? He's like, I plead the fifth. Mr. Epstein, have you ever had sexual relations with a minor in the state of New York? He's like, no. Like, what about the other 2 states? It seems like you did it, pal. Keep stalling here. All right. I knew that. I swear I knew this coming in here, people. You guys are an intimidating crowd. So one of the nice things here is that, you know, with the pandemic, you don't really have the whole greeting thing, like hellos and goodbyes. Like I know when my parents came to visit, you know, like the visit would end, my mom would give us all hugs, right? And then we'd leave, and then she'd run into the driveway like, oh, I can't remember if I gave you guys hugs. Like, yeah, you gave us hugs, Mom. Like, we're going to see you tomorrow. But now, with the social distancing, it's completely different. Like, the visit just ends, and your parents leave. You're like, all right, go fuck yourself, Mom and Dad. Yeah, maybe we'll see you soon. I don't know, go fuck yourself. Pandemic. Not sure.
I'll never say it in the hour.
But it's like, it was opening up a little bit. One of the best things about the pandemic, there's no fear of missing out, right? Like I know under normal circumstances, on a Sunday morning, I'd look at my Facebook feed, scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I'd see all these couples that went out to dinner the night before, and I'm just looking at it going, well, we didn't go out to dinner with any couples last night. You know, you don't feel good about it. But now nobody was doing it. And I realized, like, I didn't really miss that all that much. I don't really need to go out with friends. Just as long as you're not going out with friends. Like, is my life any better because I went to Chili's on Saturday night with Tom and Judy Schlenderman? Like, the Schlendermans are nice people, but I don't need to go out with the Schlendermans. Just as long as you're not going out with the Schlendermans. See, we don't really have any friends that are like that close that need to see us in a pandemic. Our friends are more like, yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys when it's safe. When it's completely safe, we'll have a great time. It's actually like a fear of mine. Like my wife will call up the wife of another couple, and she'll call to make plans, and then the wife goes to the husband like, honey, Jessica Rich just called. She wanted to know if we wanted to get together. And the husband's like, the Riches? It's a pandemic. We don't need to see the Riches. That's okay. We haven't even seen the Schlendermans. Thank you.
Woo!
I didn't really miss much. You know, I feel like the only thing I really missed this whole time was Quick Check. Like my wife and I love Quick Check. We go to Quick Check, go on a date night. Afterwards, we get a big coffee. We're so excited to be there. We're taking selfies in front of the various coffee creamers. Posting like adorable messages on Facebook. Date night with my better half and half. We love it there. It's like you can spend as much as you like. We don't go on vacations. You have to worry about spending money. We just go to Quick Check. You know, like money's no object. I'm getting things I don't even want. Getting like 13 sauces with my 5 chicken fingers. 89 cents each. Yeah, I'll try the strawberry ranch. Sounds good. Let me get one of those pumpkin srirachas. Into that. Even we bring our kids. We love that too. Like, kids, get anything you want. You want some nicotine? Go for it. We're in Quick Check. Isn't it weird, like, this whole pandemic is happening in our lifetime? Like, isn't that a little... I know other things have happened in other lifetimes, and it just feels weird. I always think there's weird things about happening in our lifetime. The world's been around for billions of years, but all of the coolest inventions occurred in our lifetime, right? Like, you have laptops and iPhones and the internet. We've been around for billions of years. And what are you going to tell me? The cotton gin? The cotton gin was such a great invention? Try binge watching Breaking Bad on the cotton gin. And you're going to say, well, it was just the natural progression of time. You know, it took billions of years. Then how come it wasn't until 6 years ago I learned you're supposed to sneeze into your arm? Like, when I was a kid, if I didn't sneeze into my hand, I would get in trouble. It's like the worst thing you could do. That thing should have been discovered BC, not when I was 40. All right, I'll close with this. The last vacation we took was to Disney World. Right? We were eating dinner at the Japanese hibachi steakhouse. And my son didn't want to have vegetables with his teriyaki chicken. So we tried explaining to the hibachi chef that my son doesn't want vegetables, but because of the language barrier, she didn't really understand it. So we tried again. We're like, excuse me, my son doesn't want vegetables with his chicken teriyaki, but it wasn't going through. So we were about to give up, and the manager walks over, and he goes, hey, can I help? We're like, well, we're trying to explain to the chef that my son doesn't want vegetables, but, you know, there's a language barrier she's not understanding. He goes, no problem, I got this. So he goes over to the chef, and we were expecting this beautiful Japanese soliloquy explaining how my son doesn't want vegetables. But instead, he looked her right in the face and he said, no veggies. What? No veggies? How is this even possible? But then I realized we're in Disney World, right? And if you're working, you stay in character. Mickey Mouse never takes a break. Donald Duck never takes off his mask. And if you're the chef at the hibachi restaurant in the Japanese section of Epcot, you always stay in character. This woman was probably from Cleveland. At the end of the night, people were sitting around talking about their day. She goes, you think your day was bad? I had to pretend I never heard of vegetables. That's my time. Thank you.